I'd like to share another short story uh, that takes place here in southern Appalachia, the Spring Creek community that I belong to and live near. This story is based on personal experience of what happens frequently around here, which are family reunions. This one is entitled Rose-Tinted Reunion. And it's spoken in the words of a mammal. These here liver spots on my hands still surprise me. Not because they shouldn't be there. A lady in her 80s who has cooked, washed, sorted bacca, and all ought to have her share of painless signs of working hard. But inside of me, I don't feel old. Only when some bold grandkid calls out my pretty wet white hair do I recall that my true red hair has faded beyond memory. Everyone's memory but mine, so it seems. Trust a young'un to hand you a truth like a wet sucker. It sticks. And heaven help whatever bits of pride one has left. Howsomever, my grandgal Carrie just rescued me by snapping a picture with her cell phone just as I sat down here under this cherry red umbrella. The sunlight has kindly kissed my hair red again and brung out them freckles that so shamed me as a young'un. Times change, and Carrie, at 14, wears hers as pridefully as her ponytail. It's hard to count how many young'uns racing round me here in Caleb's backyard carry family red. 'Tis a right smart thing to be able to just sit still, admiring their energy. Each'n seems to have growed since I last noticed. Some seem to be even changing while I watch, like leaves swirling down in all this flowing stream. Seldom did that stream ever stand still for me. But once, it seemed like just yesterday, I was 6 months gone with Melvin, our youngest. Raymond, the first'un, was 10. His hair warn't just sandy red, it was a true carrot top. But on that day, it looked too bright, spread across his pillar as if the fever had set it on fire. My boy lay far too still, and I knowed I was just too late. Would allus be too late. His body was still warm from the fever that had made him cry out that something was pulling, twisting his legs, his arms. The doc had even come out that morning, but he'd left without saying much. Why didn't he tell me, if he knowed? Would I have left my firstborn alone while I tended to Caleb, Lucy, Marthy, and Tanner's lunch? 'Cause the doc told me to keep him away from Raymond. Polio weren't too common in those days, but it was feared like death. And my boy faced it alone. A 10-year-old. Was he afeared at the end? Did he try to call me when he had no breath left? I just sat there that whole day, soup bowl still in my lap. I remember how it seemed like everything had stopped. That room was like a holler place, sucking up all sound, all breath, while I fought with time, trying to turn it back 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. So I'd have been there when it seems like his red hair just kept fading as I watched, like a torn butterfly wing losing its brightness. So young, both of us. Dying is different when you're older. You've had time to make friends with aloneness, with endings, maybe. They brung my man, Ray Allen, home to me in the wagon used for lumber and backup. He'd been sickly and just gone back to work after weeks suffering from some heart trouble. But he warn't as healed as the doc figured. When I heard that there wagon stop by our mailbox, I went to the doorstep and time quit again. All of a sudden, my care was for my grandbaby, Carrie, bright as a copper penny and not quite 3-year-old then, who was hanging on my knee as I stood there. I sent her directly across to get her Auntie Lucy, who had enough sense to keep her over at her place with the twins, Albie and Arv. More like brothers than cousins they was to her. In the end, she stayed over there for a week while we had Ray Allen laid out here with us. And Carrie's ma, Marthy, just didn't want her to see that her papa wouldn't wake up for her no more. How do you tell a Leaston that someone's gone forever? There are times which stop for someone, but for others, it keeps rolling on. That there are always going to be places inside us that wait and listen for the lost. You don't want to take away hope, whatever that is. Can you say that hope is found in the waiting? Maybe that's something we can only learn for ourselves, or not. So, my Ray Allen weren't with me to see how Carrie growed, nor the other grandbabies that came along as our 5 came of age. Part of me has stayed back there with him, standing there on that river edge while life streamed on without him. But even from there, he still shared with me all that our grown-up family did and didn't do, tried and suffered. Even the least stuff, like how his Marthy hates this cherry red umbrella. She thinks it's too smart, 'cause it has long white fringes. And Caleb stood it up with an old round table and wove chairs. It's certainly not what she would have chosen. True, the pillars on these here chairs turn an awful pickle green in the rosy shade. Well, if she just take time to sit down, she won't see that sick color, and we won't be treated to her pickle-pursed lips. I just love it when one of the little ones flops down aside of me for a minute, chattering about what they just found in the back of barn or the old shed. They most shine with excitement and I wonder if I'm wearing rose-tinted glasses. Nearly half of them are redheads. The rest are mostly yaller. Are we Scots-Irish or what? Marthy's got 4 carrot tops of her own now, including the little guy with the arm brace. It scared all of us when Marthy and her man was told to rush him into Children's Hospital, diagnosed with polio. She told me her doc was right on top of the case, though, and pulled her little boy through. They startin' to serve up, and Marthy made a smart move for a change. She nabbed Ellie, Lucy's first, who's teaching school now, and gave her the job of passing out the eats to all the young'uns. All of 'em are lining up as Ellie's long finger points them at the plates. All, that is, but her twin brothers, who have smartly disappeared behind the barn, probably looking to sneak a smoke. Did I see Carrie with them? Uh-oh, another grandbaby is going to do some growing up today. And now, I just get to sit here under a cherry-red umbrella and watch my daughters-in-law deal with the age-old problem of serving up a meal while 16 young'uns call me Mama. The best gift that agent has given me are these here rose-colored glasses that blur the problems and turn all my family bright and beautiful. But now everyone seems to be going on away. Voices are fading while I sit here by this stream in rosy shade, with everything stopping for me at last. Hope you enjoyed the story of a family reunion that brought everybody together.